In this lesson, we are going to look at adding and subtracting polynomials. So we're going to add on to last lesson was learning the vocabulary of polynomials. Now we're going to take the operations of addition and subtraction and learn how to complete those with the polynomials. So we're going to work on adding polynomials first. The question I'll ask is, how is adding polynomials like adding whole numbers? And a couple of things, you can either add polynomials, which, by the way, in algebra we call it combining like terms, so this should be a review lesson. You can add them either vertically or horizontally. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with. I will show both ways. I prefer usually probably vertically if it's just a quick problem, but horizontally at some points is more efficient. So we're going to consider the expression 125 plus 143. So 125 plus 143. So this is kind of like elementary when you added up whole numbers, and you would place them or line them up according to their place value. So the 5 and 3 are in the ones place value, the 2 and 4 in the tens, and the 1 and the 1 is in the hundreds. And then you just go ahead and add them. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 2 plus 4 is 6, 1 plus 1 is 2, and of course your sum is 168. Now, we're going to do that exact same things when you add polynomials. You have to line up like terms. Instead of like place values, we're just going to do like terms. So we're going to take x squared plus 4x plus 5, and we're going to add that to, or add to, 6x squared plus 7. So you're going to put that under like terms. So 6x squared is like x squared. So we're going to put that under x squared. And 7 is a constant, and so is, or a whole number, and so is 5. So we're going to put the 7 there. And now you're just going to add like you added back in elementary whole numbers. So it doesn't matter if you start from left to right. 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, and then you're going to add. Now notice there's nothing down here, a like term to add with 4x. So you can say 4x plus, if you really, really want to, you can put 0x. So 4x plus no more x's, still 4x. And then x squared plus 6 more x squareds would give you 7x squared. So my final sum is 7x squared plus 4x plus 12. Horizontally, that was vertically. Horizontally, if we just take this problem right here and we add them. So when you add horizontally, you're going to look for those like terms. So x squared and 6x squared makes 7x squared. 4x, and I look over here at the other polynomial, I don't ever see any other like terms, so I know it has to just be the 4x. And then 5 plus the 7 makes 12. So let's look at a couple examples of that. Let's add 3x squared plus 2x. And then we're going to add to that negative x. So we got to line that up. So 2x and negative x are the same term, like terms. And then plus 9. Since there's no constant on the top one, we're just going to put it in again. Most of the time we write these in standard form like we learned in the last lesson. So we start with the highest degree and then we go down in descending order. So you can start from left to right. We have 3x squared. We added nothing. If I really technically wanted to, I could put 0x squared there. 2x plus a negative x leaves me with just 1x. And then nothing up here plus 9. And if you really want to add the 0 up there to show that there's some place value there, 0 plus 9 is also 9. So it's 3x squared plus x plus 9 is your sum of the polynomials. Again, you can do that horizontally. You have 3x squared. I look over in this polynomial, I have nothing else to add it to, so we have 3x squared. We have 2x, and I look in the other polynomial, I have a negative x, so 2x plus a negative x leaves me with an x. And then nothing left, but you got to look at the other polynomial, and I still have a 9, so nothing plus 9 is 9. So I get the exact same sum again. Last example here. We'll just do it horizontally first. So I have 2x squared. I look over here, I have nothing. So I know that I just have 2x squared. Sorry, negative 2x squared. I have 5x here. Look in this polynomial, I have 3x. When I add 5x and 3x, that gives me 8x. And then I have negative 7, and I'm going to add a positive 7, which would leave me with nothing. So you can put the plus 0 there, but technically that's not simplified. If we want to look at it vertically, so I have negative 2x squared plus 5x minus 7. I'm going to add to that 3x. I'm going to line it up. So I have my 3x under my 5x, and my adding the 7 under my negative 7. So negative 2x squared plus nothing gives me negative 2x squared. 5x plus 3x leaves me with 8x, and negative x plus 7 leaves me with nothing. So the sums are the same. Again, it doesn't matter to me if you do vertical or horizontal. Just make sure that you line up the like terms, or you're adding the like terms when you're doing the horizontal technique. Subtraction, same idea. You're still going to line up those like terms. If you're doing it vertically, so it's a lot like whole numbers, and it's just like addition, except for we're going to, of course, subtract. So the question is, what is the difference? So just subtracting normally, I'm going to do it vertically. So we have 6x squared plus 3x minus 2, and I'm going to subtract from that, and I always put in parentheses so I can see that it's subtraction. It kind of highlights it for me. 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. Okay, so just go ahead and now subtract. Remember, you are subtracting. So 6x squared minus 3x squared leaves you with 3x squared. 3x's taking away 5x's leave you in the negative 2x. And then negative 2 minus a negative 8, that's going to become an addition. So it really is negative 2 plus 8, which leaves you with 6. Again, same thing, we could do that horizontally. So we have 6x squared minus 3x squared equals 3x squared. 3x minus 5x leaves you with negative 2x, and then negative 2 minus a negative 8 leaves you with the positive 6. The other method is, and sometimes I prefer this, let me write it down here. Is distributing the negative or the negative 1 to the second polynomial first. So that looks like this. You're going to distribute here, and that gets rid of the negative, which then makes it a positive, so then you don't have to worry about forgetting about the subtraction. So if I distribute that, I would have still 6x squared plus 3x minus 2, but now I have, in parentheses here, negative 3x squared, and then distribute the negative to the 5x would be negative 5x, distribute the negative to the negative 8, which makes positive 8, and now it becomes an addition problem. So it looks just like we learned with addition. You're just going to simply add here. So 6x squared plus a negative 3x squared is 3x squared. 3x plus negative 5x makes negative 2x, and then negative 2 plus 8 gives you 6. So you could either just think about subtraction with our method number 1, or you could distribute that negative, get rid of the negative idea or the subtraction idea, and then just add, which sometimes is easier so you don't mess up your signs. I will do this one vertically using distributive first. So I have the 3x squared plus 4x plus 2. I'm going to distribute the negative to the negative x, so that would be a positive x. So I'm going to put that under 4x, a positive 1x. And the negative to the 4 would be negative 4, so I'm going to line that under the 2. So then go ahead and just add, since I distributed the negative, which means I get rid of this negative and makes it a positive. So 3x squared plus nothing, it gives you 3x squared. 4x plus 1x gives you 5x, and then 2 plus a negative 4 gives you negative 2. Okay. If you'll do it horizontally with the first method, with just subtracting, and again, I don't care if you go vertical or horizontal. I don't care if you use the first method of just subtraction or if you distribute the negative. So we have 3x squared minus, but we're going to leave that negative sign there, and there's nothing to subtract it from, so it just leaves it with 3x squared. 4x minus a negative x. So be careful. Minus a negative turns into addition. So 4x plus x is really 5x. And then you have 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So still get the same sum. Two different methods. One was vertical, one was horizontal, one was dealing with subtraction, and one was distributing that negative or that negative 1 out. Last example. Again, we'll just do, let's distribute first this time. So we're going to distribute this. So if I rewrite that, it's going to be negative 4x squared minus 6. In that second parenthesis, we're going to add. Okay, and let's do it horizontally since I have it kind of set up that way. So negative 5x plus, and there's nothing to add it to, so that's going to be negative 5x. We have negative 6 plus a negative 6, which makes negative 12. Now, careful with doing it horizontally since you don't have them lined up. You got to look at that second polynomial, and you'll notice you still have a negative 4x squared. So you have to think about nothing plus a negative 4x squared is still going to be negative 4x squared. So that would be your difference. If you want to do it vertically, you have negative 5x minus 6. We'll do subtraction this time. So minus, and then we have 4x squared plus, doesn't want to write my addition, plus 6. Oh, there it comes. We'll erase that so it's easier to see. Plus 6. Okay, so we have nothing, and if it makes it easier for you to write 0x squared, so nothing minus 4x squared, which would leave us with negative 4x squared. You have negative 5x minus nothing, so that leaves you with the negative 5x, and then you have negative 6 minus a positive 6 leaves you with the negative 12. My computer must think that my video should be over. So hopefully showing both the addition and the subtraction of polynomials was helpful. Please work on IXL lesson Z4 to a SMART score of 100. If you are struggling with the practice on the IXL, either email me like normal, like we've done all year, or you can jump on Google Hangouts from 2 to 2:30, both Mondays and Tuesdays. Have a wonderful day.